Okay, people, so what is it? March 29th, 2020, and as strange as it seems, you're probably wondering, why is she doing a video? Her daughter just died yesterday. What's wrong with this woman? Is she a psychopath? A psychopath? Does she have no feelings? Is she desperate for YouTube clicks? Is she looking for attention? No. What it is the thing about death, people, is when you go, it's like poof, you're gone and nothing else moves. The only thing that moved, people, hold on a minute. Okay. When death occurs, nothing moves, people, except the person who dies. My ears, this one's ringing. It caught something, it's just ringing. Okay? The only thing that moves, people, is the person who died. Their body is no longer walking among us. Everything else that is what I think they call it an innate object, right? Innate objects, things that have molecular, structure that make things, right? All that stays behind. Well, it happened like that with Uncle John. Well, it happened like that with Andre. One day he was just gone. But we got Andre back. And then it happened to Uncle John. One day he was just gone, people. It was like a death. For us, it was like a death. Because we never really got to see him again. The kids went that one time, and security was called on them as healthcare staff were provoking that along to protect their own interests. So, when he died, he had already died. Uncle John just never left us. That's all. But when ShaMay died, that's when it was really in your face. Poof! Nothing moved except ShaMay. She was gone. Well, I'm with Sierra now. I'm looking around, thinking. And I'm like, what were you doing yesterday before you got that phone call about Sierra being dead? And I was having a hard time, people, with the yogurt and temperatures. Just plugging along. Well, I'm pretty sure everybody wants to see what that yogurt looks like today, considering I made it yesterday before all this happened. Right? So, I'll put this first. Keep it short. And then when I'm in the kitchen, I'll just show you. I won't show you with a lot of enthusiasm, but I'll show you. I'll show you what the candy rind peels look like, so you can do that for yourself. If you don't know how, and now you want to, I'll show you what happened to the yogurt, and if it worked, we'll put it into yogurt cups with the fruit, and I'll freeze it. I don't know about making another batch today, although I should, right? Because I have a family I have to feed, and with just this coronavirus, everything is so unpredictable. So, it would be wise to do it despite everything that's going on. I don't know if I have the energy for it, though. And I'm panicking, people, because I don't know if it's the priority. Because we're at the end of the month. I've got 19 days before the city comes. Do you see how it comes in waves? City of Surrey shows up. Right? and they released Sierra 5 days ago, and then she's dead. And now I have police calling me up, asking me to interview me and the kids to find out what Sierra was like, as if they don't know. And I told them, look in your police files. It's all written down. Oh, I said, look where she was in jail. It was all documented. Nobody can't tell me Sierra didn't have mental health issues, right? That her brain wasn't all there. Sure, she had fleeting moments of being cognitive, but there were many times when she didn't, and they can't deny it. I told him to look into her medical files. He said he couldn't access them. I reminded him that the coroner would. Not could, but would. And if it was a real police investigation, that's the first fucking place they would go, is to her medical records. Not go interview the family. To talk about the good times. About the real Sierra. I feel like they're mocking me, people. That shit that you seen with the last 2 uploads, well, you seen the one, and then you heard the full little recording, right? From when we first walked in. You know, I mean, that, to me, honestly, I'm just going to say it, right? I feel like it was staged. I really do. Because first of all, I was called. I was informed that she was dead. So, of course, that's an invitation to go where she is. So that's what I did. And my kids came with me. And we wanted to see Sierra's body. For ourselves. To say goodbye. In terms of, okay, she's dead. Now we can figure out what we're going to do. Instead of staging the scene, people. Okay? I feel like I walked onto a stage. Just by the way the RCMP and the coroner's office dealt with the situation. So, this is why I'm going to call this video, Was It Members Only? Was it members only? Because the only people who seen my dead daughter's body was the first 2 police officers that were inside when I showed up, and they were both women. The man who tried to do CPR on her, and it was his house, because he was going to give Sierra a room and let her try it out, and if it worked out, he was going to rent it to her. So that's the note that she came in on. Plus, she had known him before because I had met him before, right? Because he had brought her here before. And the last time he brought her, I told him, you know, to take her to Sums or to the hospital, better yet, or to wherever she needed to go in terms of a doctor. Because I don't have a car, people. Right? He told me he had no sexual interest in my daughter. That's not what it was about. It was about, you know, he's flabbergasted with the issues out here with drug addiction and the degradation around the human being and around the situation in general with the numbers of homeless people that are struggling with issues like Sierra that aren't being dealt with. Right? And that's why he was extending a hand to try and help Sierra. I trusted him on that, people. What am I supposed to do? Right? I said to my son, when they released Sierra out of jail, I want to house her. I said, I so want to house her. You know, clear out Auntie ShaMay's room. Maybe we could put her in the living room for a little while. Right? And, oh, well, but if I would have done that, people, one, she would have either OD'd in the house, right? Or MCFD would have showed up and try and take the kids away from me for helping Sierra. So I had to let her go with this man. I had no choice, people. And at least she had a chance to have a roof over her head. Okay? 5 days later, she was dead. But I feel like I walked into a stage. A staged, a prop, a setting. Because first I was called to it. You don't call up somebody and expect them not to show up. Right? You know, cause and reaction, right? But the thing is, when we walked in, okay, I'll go this way, okay? The door is here, so you walk in this way. As soon as you walk in, there's a little teeny foyer, but the thing is, the living room and the foyer are all one. And immediately to your left is a doorway, which apparently Sierra's hand, or arm, I should say arm, was sticking out just enough so you could see it. Now, Tisha seen Sierra's arm and Marcaine seen Sierra's arm, but I did not. Because when I came in, that man asked me to come inside. And of course, I can't see that great. So I didn't see it, her arm. But Marcaine did, and so did Tisha. The point is that somebody from our family seen it. Okay? He said she was resting. What? On the floor? By the door? With her arms sprawled out? Naked? That doesn't sound like resting to me. Okay? That's the first red flag, people. When he phoned me up, he said that when he went to Sierra, he touched her forehead. And it was, cold, warm, I don't know. Her legs were cold. He said something was cold and something was warm. That he tried to do CPR on her. And that he rolled her over, or he moved her, or something, where he could see that where she had been laying, you know, as the blood settles because of gravity, to the ground. Underneath her, it looked like you could see that the blood had already pooled, was beginning to pool. And that when the paramedics came, her legs had already gone into the first stages of stiffening up. And they pronounced her dead. And that's when he called me. Okay, I get off the phone. I call Tisha, right? I call my son. And within the hour or so, 45 minutes to the hour, we went to the house. And then the one with the actual video footage, obviously that's me with the camera. And the one with the recording with just Sierra and ShaMay in that picture when they were little is what Tisha had. So, when you go inside and you listen to that man talk, and you apply it to the timeline from 12 o'clock until about 4 or 5, right? 4 o'clock or so. Have to crunch the numbers again, people. What was he doing? What was he doing that it got to where she was she resting where they found her, people? Or did he move her body there as he was trying to resuscitate her body? And why was she naked? And why were we only allowed to see a part of her arm? Just enough to irk it to us. Irk it in terms of setting the stage, having complete control of the narrative, They called in extra cops because they knew that they weren't going to allow me to see her. Right? You can see how quickly the coroner did the Eleanor in terms of, call security, get out! Like they did with Uncle John. And then they called in the big boys, the backups, to take us down if we argued to see Sierra, right, before we left. And then they lulled us with a lie, saying, don't worry, we'll call you. We won't move her body until you get a chance to see it, but give us a few hours because it's an investigation. There's something going on here and we're not too sure and it's kind of serious. But shh, just, you know, your mom doesn't really want to see what she's going to look like because it's not pretty. Like, what the fuck is that? Why is it... Oh, I want to say dirty cop, people. I so want to say dirty cop. Why is a woman cop telling my vulnerable daughter that I don't want to see my dead daughter because she doesn't look pretty? Because it's, you know, what, ugly? But yet, the scene itself was staged to allow that to happen. Right? So I'm sitting with this because it's the way I see it, people. You know, conspiracy theory, I don't know. Paranoia, no, not paranoia. It's once bitten, twice as shy. Anti-government, yeah, that's a big fucking 85, 95, 90%, right? I'm pretty much getting to the point where, you know, I see it for what they are in many aspects, right? And the only people that got to see Sierra in that state were those members. The two cops inside, the man, all the cops that were going in and out of the house, you've seen that in my video, them coming, all those body bagger guys, or whoever they were, with their two little white vans, going in and out of the driveway for whatever reason, if that even made sense, right? If you think about it. They all got to see Sierra. And then, but we didn't. We didn't, people. And then, so of course we leave because, you know, I don't want my son to get arrested. You know, I don't want a bunch of fucking drama. I didn't go there for drama, right? It was apparent they were dragging it out. They told us 3 hours. They were expecting us to stand on that porch in the rain, basically, for 3 hours, as they all were going in and out, in and out, in and out, in multiples. But we were expected to stand outside for 3 hours. That was the lull. With the promise that if we left, they would call us before they would remove her body. Well, they lied, people. I said an hour and a half later, or whatever it was, about an hour and a half, it was pushing on an hour and a half. I said, look, Marcaine, we need to go back, you know, and stand outside if we have to. They were gone, people. They were long gone, like thieves in the night, because when we drove up, it was fucking dark. There were no lights on in the house, people. It was completely dark. There was a cop van out front with a mean kind of guy that can't give you no information. I said, well, can I have the person who's investigating this? Like, the top guy, right? His name, right? Write it down. No, I can't give you that. And, you know, and can't, well, where's her body? My son was asking where her body went. Oh, yeah, I have to get the coroner late night line at Saturday, can't get that information, and you can't stay in your car. I went, open the door because I can't hear, right? And he's telling me to stay in my fucking car, people. Get inside and close the door. Apparently they had one guy in the back making sure nobody could crawl through the door, windows, whatever. So they had the house on lockdown, with it completely in the dark, with Sierra's body disappeared. Sierra's body disappeared. Because they took it as soon as we left. And they took it based on a lie, people. On trickery. On something that was fucking staged. And it was done through a members-only fucking partnership. Club. Whatever you want to call it. So we have to ask yourselves, how the hell did Sierra get on the floor, right up by the fucking door frame, have her arms spewed out as she laid there naked, and we know she didn't look pretty because that's been confirmed. We just weren't allowed to look. But of course I'm trying to stay positive and give the police the benefit of the doubt. But not when they're phoning me up and wanting to do interviews asking about Sierra when they've already formulated their opinion of Sierra a long, long, long time ago. That was just the end of a game, people. I'm a little concerned that maybe we're dealing with a snuff movie. Only because the scene was staged, people. It was staged. It was too clean. It ran too smoothly in terms of stand your ground, where cops had the authority. Right? So, now we know we've got the city coming here on April 19th. And they're not going to feel sorry for me, people. Because this is how it works. It comes in waves. So, just to give other people moral support, right? In terms of your own waves. You just have to pace yourself through it.